now known as Bright Paths, for 2 years. This program has supported my family and I tremendously. It's amazing. I didn't know an organization like this even exists. So allow me to tell you how this organization has helped my family and I, and the achievements, and also how Rick, this amazing man right here, I feel like crying, I'm sorry.
That's okay. We have tissue.
Helped me through my journey as far as discipline is managing money, budgeting, savings, down to my divorce and losing my job, and just everything this program has done for me. So even though I can't speak for everybody else, I can tell you what it has done for me and mine. So before I even got into Our Daily Bread, I didn't know anything about saving. Didn't even know it could even exist with the situation I was in. Living from paycheck to paycheck, trying to make ends meet with 2 little girls, it gotten difficult. So I was introduced to Our Daily Bread, and I was like, hey, why not take it a shot? It's either a win-win situation or I lose. Either way, I'm not in a good situation, and I want to make my life better, especially for my 2 little girls. So once again, when I got in here, I was living from paycheck to paycheck, trying to make ends meet with bills. I had met Rick, who has inspired me through my journey. He has taught me discipline, tough love. Rick and I, we met every 2 weeks. If we couldn't physically meet, we was always on the phone discussing budgeting, finances, questions. He was always available for me. No matter if he was out of town, his phone wasn't working, hey, he had a computer, he was emailing me. He was there. It was never a point in time when he wasn't there for me. He showed me tough love. I look at it like the same. A hard head makes a soft bottom. He was that strong, but he never forced anything on me. It was my choice if I wanted to follow, a budget plan, or if I just wanted to walk away. And at first I thought, hey, it was kind of wishy-washy. I'm like, how do I feel about it? But it was like he said, it's my choice. And I wanted to make a choice into saving and budgeting my finances. So we started off with, jotting down everything I spend for 2 months. He put it all together and set out a budget for me, which I was bringing in more money than I thought I was, but being a reckless spender, and I realized, wow, this is how much I'm bringing in. Why can I not keep up with my bills? Like, this is just crazy. So he said it was all about discipline, which after a while I realized discipline. You have to give yourself discipline. If this is what you want, you're going to set yourself to some boundaries. And I realized I was able to save and save and save, which he has mentioned you want to save for a rainy day, which I will explain to you later how my savings became available during my rainy days, which I was not ever expecting to happen. So I want to get into Miss Colleen Sweeney. She's the pro bono lawyer of Our Daily Bread. That woman there, she is amazing. When I was going through my divorce in the beginning, she couldn't take on my case, but she had a colleague that took on my case for my divorce. So with me saving money, I was able to afford an attorney. Colleen has helped me by typing up legal documents that's needed. So she helped me save some money as far as the attorney goes. So that went into play, and it was amazing, very emotional event for me, but it was good. Going through a divorce, 7 years of marriage, 2 children. It's a very emotional event, but I made it through. I brought it to Rick's attention, and he was like, "No, this is a situation we got to work on. This could affect your finances and this, that, and the third." So he took in that effort and like, "Hold off, let me make some phone calls. I'm gonna help you with this." And that's when Miss Colleen Sweeney came in, and she came and helped me type of documents for court to reduce some costs on some attorneys. So that was very helpful with Miss Colleen. She also came back into the picture again when I had to go back to court with my former husband, which at that time I couldn't afford another attorney. But she was willing to take on my case. She is a very strong individual, and I like the fact like Our Daily Bread has colleagues like that that's willing to help those that's not able to afford an attorney with legal issues. She took on my divorce for the second time around when I had to go back to court. And she was just a strong, she inspired me. The way she sat up in that courtroom, argued the judge down, argued the lawyer down. She literally argued them down. And it was just amazing because it's like, Dad, where can I have some of that motivation? Like, no, this is how it's going to be. No, yawn, and no. And that was just amazing. And it kind of gave me some inspiration because it was a few cases that she couldn't attend for me. But I had to go up in front of the judge myself, along with my former husband. And she was telling me, just remain strong, no emotions. Because she said when it comes to the court, they don't like emotions. They want strong, straightforward answers. And seeing her do it, I'm like, I can do it. Just stand there and stand strong. But once again, it was very emotional for me, but I did it. Just seeing her do it, I'm like, I can do it. I can do it. And I did it. And every time I had to appear in front of the judge myself, I won. Every time around somebody, it was amazing. So
can I hire you as my next attorney?
So Colleen, she provided, much needed support. She was about what was in the best interest for my children. And due to the fact she's a mother herself, it couldn't go any better, She just wasn't here, hey, let me help you with your case. No, she actually showed interest in what was for the best interest for my children. And I really thank her for that. So I just want to thank Ms. Colleen, even though she's not here. Thank you.
I'll send her the tape.
Okay. And as far as our food program, the food program, wow, that's amazing too. I had it for 9 months. It came in handy for me because at that time, 7 days after my divorce, I had lost my job. So I was out of work for 2 months, but with the discipline that Rick has showed me and the saving for rainy days finally came into play. So being able to have discipline on my finances, my budgeting, I was able to still keep up with my bills even though I was out of work for 2 months. And like you always said, you always want to have enough saved up for about 3+ months for when you're out of work so you can still have that time to find work but be able to pay your bills. But our food program came in handy for me because food was one less thing I had to worry about when it came to providing for my family. They provided food. They also provided household goods like tissue, toilet paper, stuff like that for 9 months for me. So that was a big support for me while I was out of work. And when I found a job, it was a pay cut. So it was like, but food was one less thing I had to worry about when it came to budgeting and providing for my family. So that's also a blessing for myself and my family. And they also had match your savings. Match your savings when you would have to save $25 plus more a month, and they match it with what you have. That has came in handy for me because once I received match your savings, it was around the time I was moving. So instead of just being like, hey, I got extra $500 spending, no, I took that discipline that I learned from Rick and threw it in my savings as if it was never any extra money or anywhere that was in my hands. And it came in handy because that was money that I used on my security deposit at my new place I'm in now. So that's also great. And what else is there? And I'm sorry, excuse me. And my achievements I feel I had made in this program was, I feel like, when I entered into Our Daily Bread, I was at the very bottom. Didn't know anything about money, finances, budgeting, and I always wanted my children to have better. put them through college, teach them everything they need to know about savings, because I don't want them to have to struggle at the age that I'm at now, trying to make ends meet and just learning how to budget, manage money, and save. So I've come from, once again, living from paycheck to paycheck to now being able to save and live comfortably without worrying about when's my next paycheck come in, when am I going to receive this. I don't worry about that no more. Because when you have a steady, when you are able to manage your money, you're not sitting there waiting for a paycheck or waiting when the next funds are going to get in. You just continue budgeting your money. Set yourself for that discipline. And what else was amazing? What else is another achievement? What else actually is a goal which I'm going to achieve? At this current moment, I receive child and spousal support from my former husband. My goal is to make enough money than what he's giving me. So, Lord forbids he wants to stop making payments, my children and I will still be okay. And that's one thing I realized. The less that I'm dependent on that money, the better off I'll be as an individual, a mom. And either way, that's money I can throw into the savings. You know, so our daily bread, as far as our mentor, especially Rick, Colleen, our food program, Match Our Savings, it has done my family and I justice. And I'm thankful with me going through my trials as far as my divorce, me losing my job. I'm thankful that I still had them to support me mentally and emotionally, because without them, I don't know where I'll be. Like, I really don't. And now, you know, I'm able to pay full market rent. I'm glad. I don't need housing assistance. I don't need any type of government assistance. I'm doing it on my own, and that was a goal of mine. And also, when I met Rick, I told him I wanted a career and not a job. Right now, I'm a medical assistant working at Pinnacle's Family Practice. So, and I do want to go back to school, and I will be going back to school. Not sure exactly what I want to do, but it's going to remain in the medical field. And I want to teach others the same way Rick has taught me. I want to teach my children the same way. And I want to teach people, you know, the value of $1. You need to save for a rainy day. You never know. You could lose your job. Anything can happen. But if you don't know the value of $1, then what would you really learn, you know? Because you need money to survive, but you also got to have discipline with it. And I want to thank Our Daily Bread for supporting me. They have praised me on everything I've done. Even Rick. Even Rick. He praised me.
So he didn't tie you down and whip you?
No. He praised me every time I made a wise decision, and I didn't have to go to him. It was one time. I think it was something with my budget. So instead of just taking it from my savings, let's say for example, I wanted an extra pair of shoes, but my budget was set for $80, but the shoes was $100. So I took 20 from essential want.
Eating out.
Yeah, eating out. I took 20 from eating out and put it in for the shoes. So it was like, he really praised me on that, because I didn't have to go to him and ask him, you know, I made a really wise decision. Now, like, I didn't want to take from my savings, so what am I going to sacrifice out of what I'm spending? And that has also taught me, you know, discipline, because it's not about your wants, it's more about your needs. And you want to live comfortably. You want to put your kids through savings. You want to have retirement. You want to enjoy life and not have to struggle. And that's another big thing with me. Like, I don't like struggling. Coming from struggling, then not struggling, there's a difference. And struggling is something I don't want to do again. Because it's like, when you have to think about your children other than yourself, it makes a great difference. Your kids need this, your kids need that, and I don't want to struggle no more. And so being able to live both lives and know the difference, struggling is something I would not choose to do anymore. Struggling, living paycheck from paycheck is something that I would not choose to do anymore. So remaining disciplined on the budget is important to me, especially if I want to put my kids through college. I want to teach them. I want to teach them right, because I want them to be better than me. I just want my kids to be better than me. So it's more so for my children, because they're only little. They're 11 and 6. They drive me crazy. But once again, it's more about just my children. Have them be better and do better than I.
Fragile, you're now hired as the new Brights Path spokesman. You did amazing.
Questions for me?
Yeah.
Yes.
May I? What was the message that got through to you from Rick or anybody else who was helping you on that you finally decided, hey, I need to save and set some money aside, and I can't just go, break even each month. I need to be setting some aside. How did that finally get to you?
It finally got to me when I realized, how did it really get to me? It finally got to me when I realized the amount of money I had coming in when he finally set my budget. And it's like, I have this amount coming in. Why am I struggling? Why can I not keep up with my bills? Why are they not paid on time? And if that's something that I'm complaining about or want to change, why not give this financial a try? It doesn't hurt to try, because I could end up better than in the situation I am in, which I did.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
You're just absolutely remarkable.
Thank you.
Yes.
Here, here.
The other thing is that, we, in this program, we talk about developing rapport and trust with the people. Anybody ever see that movie, My Cousin Vinny? Remember there's a thing in there when she talks about discovery? So, part of the story was that, what'd your husband have? It's called discovery. She said, what's that? Well, you gotta pay for that. It was gonna cost her entire savings to pay for that. How many people give their savings up? But on the other hand, it's important to know that, because the rest of her life she needs to get a piece of that action. She did it. She trusted me I was right on that kind of thing, and it worked out.
He encouraged me to pay for the attorney. It was like, I came to him and I said, what did I say to you, Rick? And you told me it's more of an investment.
Well, the thing is that the judge is going to rule on that, what division of property is, and unless you know what that person has, there's nothing to rule against type thing. So the point is that we had someone to agree with that kind of. The other thing is, when she came, obviously, I have a saying that she understands is, it doesn't matter where you came from, it only matters the choices you make in the future. And you can see an example of that. And the other thing, throughout this whole journey, she talked about rainy days and all that kind of stuff. There were some tough times, over a year through the divorce thing. She lost a job, it wasn't her fault, her car got totaled, yet she always had an attitude of gratitude, a perspective type thing. Even in the darkest days, you could say, why? And that always impressed me. And the thing that I like also, and she's alluded to this thing, is that two things. One is, she's going to be a great mentor someday. When she decides she wants to do it, she talked the talk, but she's walked the walk. She's going to be a great mentor. And the other thing regarding her kids about the finances, she didn't mention this, we've talked about this. She's going to start leveraging some of that stuff on her kids. Maybe at Christmas time, when they're going to get a budget, there's accountability, all that kind of stuff. They may not like it, but guess what? If she didn't like it, she's going to say, that's okay, girls. Hey, you got this amount of money, you buy what you want to do, and no more fuss and fapping. So that inspirational story is also endorsed with what you folks are doing in Bright Paths. It shows that what this program could do for someone like Fragile, somebody else, that type of thing. So I'm just impressed with her.
Thank you for coming in and sharing your story.